Hello to you and welcome. Thank you for joining us as we take you around San Diego. Happy Mother's Day weekend. I'm News 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on our top stories of the week so far, and we'll look ahead at what's to come around San Diego. We do begin with immigration. A federal judge just indicated he will likely grant a request from county leaders to conduct a health and safety inspection there at the Otay Mesa detention facility. The county sued Homeland Security and Core Civic, which operates the detention facility, after inspectors were not allowed inside back in February. The county's chief medical officer briefly did get in, but was not allowed to speak with the detainees.
The county is responsible for the safety and the health of anyone who is within its jurisdiction, which include those detained in the facility.
Yeah, another update is expected later this month with a new deadline set for May 27th. And the judge said the two sides need to work out details first, who can go in and whether those detainees can be interviewed. Also, right now, nearly 24 crew members from cruise ships in San Diego are under arrest, suspected of involvement with child sexual abuse material. This comes after we asked Homeland Security about this video taken by a passenger showing Disney cruise ship workers being detained in San Diego last month. A spokesperson says Homeland Security investigations arrested 23 crew members from multiple ships at the Port of San Diego. We are told the arrests were based on information received from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Those arrested were taken to Los Angeles and their visas were revoked. New numbers from ICE show more than 16,000 people were removed from the San Diego area from January of last year through early last month. That's according to a letter sent to local members of Congress. Most of those removed were from Mexico, followed by Guatemala and Venezuela. The report leaves out key details like whether those individuals had criminal records or if warrants were used. Several San Diego representatives say that lack of transparency is concerning, and they are pushing for more answers about who is being targeted and why. Also right now, San Diego County leaders are moving forward with a plan to invest millions of dollars into arts and culture with a focus on diverse and underserved communities. This comes as the city cuts funding. Supervisor Jim Desmond cast the lone vote against the plan, saying, quote, "The county is not the city's ATM." Meantime, artists and performers packed a budget meeting this week to push back against Mayor Todd Gloria's proposal to cut about 86% of city arts funding. Supporters say the arts generate more than $1 billion for the local economy and warn those cuts could have a devastating impact on San Diego's cultural community. Councilmember Shawnilo Rivera and a representative for the mayor's office really had a heated exchange on whether or not the mayor has a vision for the city.
No vision as of now outside of what lies in the strategic plan, which is a world-class city for all. That is what it says in the document. That doesn't mean a lot. If you'd like, do you have a different response? You're shaking your head.
Councilmember, I disagree with that assessment. Having an affordable city, having a city where people can afford to have a roof over their heads,
yes.
Having a city that is safe, and having a city where you have smooth roads and safe sidewalks, that is a vision. I would disagree that it's just a priority.
Well,
that is a vision.
You're starting to articulate. I'm not going to play a game of semantics with you, Chris. I'm just not going to do that.
I would also rather not.
Well, I'm not going to do that with you.
All right, we'll certainly keep you posted on the budget. Meantime, San Diego County leaders also looking to make parking more affordable downtown. The Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to explore ways to better use more than 800 spaces in 3 county-owned parking structures, including the Ash Street garage near Petco Park. The plan includes possible discounts, shuttle options, and better outreach so more people know about available spaces. Officials say many of these lots sit underused, especially nights and weekends when demand is highest. County staff will now study options and report back with recommendations. Well, the sale of the San Diego Padres is official. Last weekend, the team announced Jose Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones, will be the new majority owners. And as we reported a couple of weeks ago, the team is being sold for a record $3.9 billion. They're worth it, right? The team now awaits for MLB owners to then approve the sale, which will take place in June. Over the weekend, the San Diego County Humane Society began a mass rescue operation at Villa Chardonnay, which is an animal sanctuary in Julian. The agency's law enforcement officers and sheriff's deputies served a search warrant at the 40-acre property Friday night. So far, the Humane Society says they have rescued about 165 horses and several ponies, more than 300 cats and 30 dogs, and dozens of other animals. Some are in need of urgent medical care. That investigation is ongoing. Still ahead, the deadly Hantavirus aboard a cruise ship making headlines. We are working for you with what San Diegans need to know. Plus, that mountain lion found roaming around homes in Escondido. Ooh, how crews got it out safely and where it's at now. Welcome back to you. That deadly virus making international headlines is now raising questions closer to home. 3 people are reported dead after that hantavirus outbreak linked to a cruise ship. And while cases are rare, the disease is known to show up here in California. News 8's Brian White is working for you, digging into local case numbers and how county leaders track the virus in rodents.
Yeah, those headlines are alarming. It's drawing new attention to this virus that health officials here in San Diego monitor closely. So let's get into how it spreads, who's most at risk, and what current data shows in our area.
Hantavirus is rare, but doctors say it can turn deadly.
Hantavirus can be incredibly serious.
I reached out to Dr. Ahmed Salem, a pulmonary critical care doctor at Sharp Memorial, who's treated hantavirus patients before. He says, unlike COVID or the flu, this virus is not easily spread person to person.
Usually it's transmitted through rodents, so usually it's not human-to-human transmission.
Instead, people are infected by breathing in particles from rodent droppings, often in enclosed spaces like cabins, sheds, or garages.
Once you're infected with hantavirus, it can actually lead to severe and deadly disease. It can cause things like cardiogenic shock and ARDS.
Early symptoms can look like other illnesses, cough, fever, fatigue, but doctors warn some patients can decline quickly.
The thing with hantavirus, the ones who are sick will rapidly decompensate.
He says there's no specific cure, only supportive care, and in severe cases, the virus can be deadly. I checked in with San Diego County Public Health. The last detected case was in 2019, and only 4 cases have been reported in the past 2 decades, just 1 locally acquired, but the virus is still being tracked in the environment. The county's vector control program routinely tests wild rodents. I checked, and so far this year, 6 rodents, mostly mice, have tested positive. That's down from 16 last year and 25 the year before. Experts say the main carriers here are deer mice found mostly in rural, mountain, and desert areas, not the common house mice found in urban homes. Health officials say simple precautions can lower your risk, like avoiding contact with rodents, airing out enclosed spaces, and using safe cleaning methods. Again, health experts stress the risk to the general public is low. Working for you, Brian White, News 8.
Yeah, some good news there. Stay healthy, San Diego. Well, the San Diego Community College District is dealing with a massive cyber attack. The chancellor tells News 8 it is the largest breach the district has ever experienced. Its entire network was compromised, impacting City Mesa and Miramar, as well as the College of Continuing Education. The breach was first noticed last Saturday. The district has since been completely offline, including Wi-Fi, websites, and file servers. And students we heard from do say it's impacting their classes.
Because we're ending the semester, we have a lot going on, so we're working on our discussion, and we don't have internet access.
Yeah, internet hotspots have been brought in to support key buildings like the library. The chancellor says no personal information was stolen. And Chula Vista is one step closer to approving its proposed budget for the next fiscal year. Mayor John McCann described the spending plan as having strong reserves, no layoffs, and no cuts to services. He outlined the budget's top priorities to News 8, saying they include public safety, affordable housing incentives, and investments in infrastructure and parks. It's a sharp contrast to, again, San Diego's budget, where the city is facing a $118 million deficit. Mayor McCann says Chula Vista is in a different position.
We went out to the public, listened to them, understood what their priorities were. One thing we want to do is we want to be able to hire additional police officers. We're one of the safest cities in the county and in the state, and we want to maintain that level of good public safety.
You can hear them in the background. The council voted to move this proposed budget forward. Final vote set for May 19th. Well, right now, neighbors in Escondido are breathing a sigh of relief after a mountain lion was captured. They are among us. The big cat was reported near North Grape Street between Mission and East Washington Avenues around 1:30. All right, at some point, this mountain lion then ducked under a truck at a nearby apartment complex. Big crowd gathered and police had to keep people back. One neighbor says he took some extra precautions.
The dog, so we had to take our dog back in because any little smell can take the lion off. So it looked big, but I heard it was a baby still, but it looked big.
Yeah, looks healthy to me. Fish and wildlife officials tranquilized the animal and then released it near the Cleveland National Forest. We learned that that mountain lion is a healthy 3-year-old male. Coming up, pushback over a proposed bike lane in Little Italy, why some say it will lead to more safety hazards. Welcome back. A viral trend is now running into San Diego. A large group of people recorded themselves attempting to speed run into the Church of Scientology building downtown and then posted it to TikTok. Yeah, the Church of Scientology told us the group kicked in doors, hit windows, spit on the building, and broke into a secured area. The church maintains the act was unlawful and dangerous. The group broke up once police got there, and we have seen this trend play out in Los Angeles with many runners saying they want to expose the church.
The public wants to know what's in there and what they are hiding and why are they being so aggressive towards opening up about the truth.
Yeah, SDPD says detectives are looking at evidence to find those responsible for vandalism to church property. The department said, quote, the police department will monitor these social media challenges and work with religious institutions to prevent them and hold participants accountable. Well, also, a new bike lane project in Little Italy is drawing some strong reactions. Supporters say the new bike lane makes the streets safer for cyclists, but some who live there say it is creating new safety hazards, especially near a historic church. News 8's Brian White reports from State Street to explain what's behind the pushback.
Yeah, I'm outside Our Lady of the Rosary Church, where the pastor and parishioners here say these new bike lanes are making it more difficult to access the church, especially with parking moved away from the curb.
This is not simply about parking, my dear friends. This is not simply about traffic. This is about people.
Dozens gathered outside Our Lady of the Rosary Church Tuesday morning, calling on the city to rethink the new bike lane design along State Street.
This is about ensuring that the doors of the church remain truly accessible to all.
Under the new configuration, curbside parking has been replaced with what's known as floating parking, separated from the sidewalk by a protected bike lane.
Our focus is concern again of access for elderly, for disabled, for those people that are distracted because they're excited about a celebration or mourning those that they've lost. And crossing a 10-foot buffer in that process is a huge liability.
Leaders with the Little Italy Association say the change makes it harder for parishioners attending weddings, funerals, and weekly services.
Just think that you have a wheelchair or you're just walking off of your car. And then you have to see both sides because you are in the middle of the street.
They're asking the city to restore curbside parking in front of the church and return State Street on this block to 3 lanes with a shared lane for bikes and cars. But cycling advocates say the design improves safety and access for more than just drivers.
When we talk about access, we really think holistically, and it includes equity. Not everyone can afford a car.
Chloe Lauer with the San Diego County Bicycle Coalition says protected bike lanes create safer conditions for cyclists while still maintaining parking nearby.
Floating parking retains the parking for people who want parking and protects cyclists who are in the lane. So we see it as a win-win.
She says the project has been in the works for 10 years.
We are going to preserve.
Meanwhile, opponents say they're hopeful a compromise can be reached here.
Doesn't make sense. The bike should be on the other side
And I reached out to San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria's office and staff for comment on this, but have not yet heard back. In Little Italy, I'm Brian White, News 8.
We'll let you know when we do. Brian, thanks. Well, the Mormon Temple is hard to miss landmark along Interstate 5. If you've ever wondered what it looks like on the inside, signups for tours are now open. I went 30 years ago when it first opened. News 8's Marcella Lee has more.
You know that iconic building that looks like a castle you see every time you drive the I-5 in La Jolla? Well, usually only members are allowed inside. But for the first time in more than 30 years, the San Diego, California Temple is opening its doors to the public. And you can sign up now for a free walking tour. If you have ever wondered what it looks like behind those spires, this is your chance. Tours run June 18th through July 11th, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. The tour is free and lasts about 45 minutes. Visit SanDiegoCaliforniaTemple.org to book your spot.
Yeah, it is an iconic building. Coming up, the marine heat wave being measured by gliders. We're going to take you inside the lab to show you how they work and that data coming in. Welcome back. A marine heat wave is building off San Diego's coast, and right now scientists are working to understand it. News 8's Neda Iranpour takes us inside the lab in La Jolla, tracking it all from beneath the surface in this Earth 8 report.
These gliders almost look like torpedoes. Well, they kind of function like them, minus any explosives. You could say these are on a peaceful fact-finding mission to discover water conditions in places hard for humans to test. They are first sent out by boat to then travel solo deep in the sea, about 200 miles off of California's coast and as deep as 1,000 meters. 7 of these gliders move swiftly on their own, covering about a half mile per hour, a span of nearly 2 miles in about 6 hours.
It is autonomous, so we can give it a series of waypoints and it'll follow those waypoints.
If the current comes, what does it do?
Yeah, so it's able to measure the current and it corrects for the current. It steers into the current a little bit to make its way.
These are smart. Wow.
They are smart, yeah.
Dan Rudnick is professor at Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UC San Diego.
I study physical oceanography, so I study the physical processes that happen in the ocean, things like the temperatures, the salt content, the currents, the tides, waves.
These gliders have been gathering that type of information for 20 years now, even piquing animals' curiosity along the way.
So here's one.
Oh, wow.
So they do occasionally get bitten by sharks, and you can see that this has a bunch of marks on it.
They're down there where the sharks are?
They are, and the sharks are curious, and they bite and then probably realize it's not food.
They'll get tested for things like pressure and buoyancy before heading out again. And the information they're gathering along their 100 to 120-day journey is vital to understanding the ocean.
So when we have a marine heat wave like this, we're on the job immediately. We know as soon as it's happening.
The Pacific is now the warmest it's been since the last big El Nino in 2015 to 2016, up to 3 degrees warmer than normal. The red line shows temperatures off Dana Point, and the black line shows temps near the equator. Usually they go up and down together.
Right now, it's warm here, but it's been cooler at the equator, and that's unusual.
So far this year, nearly 40 days of records were broken at the sea surface, too. And Dan explains the marine heat wave could be to blame for some changes in the ocean, like the dying of more seabirds and changes in migration for many animals. More tropical species may start to appear here, while things that can't move may suffer, with the potential for kelp die-offs and the likelihood of more humid weather.
NOAA is forecasting that there will be an El Nino this year. The next several months will be telling.
So what they get back through text message from these gliders will be very important. Yes, I said text message.
In the wings, they also have antennas. Then it does a roll, 90-degree roll, and it puts the wing up. At this point, it is just a smartphone.
Sending the instrument development group texts every 3 to 6 hours with crucial data. For Earth 8 in La Jolla, I'm Neda Iranpour.
Truly just incredible work they're doing, Neda. Thanks as always. Take a look at this cutie. A 6-week-old kitten is now thriving, thankfully, in foster care in Encinitas after someone found her stuck in a glued trap in Orange County. The Good Samaritan brought her to Orange County Animal Care to get cleaned up, and then the Rancho Coastal Humane Society took her in and named her Sticky. Every day she gets a mineral oil bath to dissolve the remaining glue. Sticky is still underweight for her age, but making good progress.
She's gotten a lot more confident. Before, she just liked to cuddle up on someone's neck or chest and just sleep. Now she's getting very playful and adventurous.
Yeah, looking healthy. So she is not quite ready for adoption yet, and actually may never be. That is because her foster, the person taking care of her now, may want to just adopt and keep her. Certainly understand why. All right, well, thank you so much, as always, for your time. Thank you for staying informed. For News 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care. Happy Mother's Day to you, mamas. And as always, go Padres.